Hello, everyone, and welcome to the fifth, if I remember correctly, session of the Pirates of the Aquan, and it's been a long time. So, we're just going to jump right into a recap. As far as I remember, Gio's character, Jazai, if I remember
Yes.
correctly. Oh, I need to get into Roll20. I didn't do that yet. So, while I'm doing that, um, uh, your character Jazai um, encountered a creature that um, made him go slightly insane. Um, and
Wait, that was before. That was on the pirate island. Now I'm on new island.
yes, I'm getting it.
Okay,
Um,
just checking.
yes. So he encountered this creature. You guys both um, got to um, you guys both got on the pirate ship after this, and you guys were um, sailing to the place where this supposed strange creature is. Um, you don't know what it's called or anything of that nature. You just know that it's been trying to deal with the pirate lords or the captain, your captain. Um, and it had this weird drow character from the beginning of the campaign of this particular section of the world. Um, and it had this drow character tried to infiltrate your guys' crew, implanted some sort of weird magical creature in your captain's brain, all kinds of weird shenanigans as a result. And you guys were heading towards where you suspected an island that you suspected where it was. Unfortunately, on the way there, the um, the pirate hunters or bounty hunters or whoever specifically they're affiliated with the location known as the Gemling Seat, which is a large geographical location that is completely covered in gems, like on the surface of the ground and below. Um, and they were trying to hunt you because you went on one of their affiliated islands in this archipelago and made a huge mess by attacking a bunch of people. And, or at least your crew did. Um, Either way, they started chasing you, and a large storm appeared that you guys decided to use to your advantage. However, it was after one of your crew, the newly recruited cursed captain, and he decided to, after a bunch of stuff happened, like your character falling into the ocean. I don't remember the specific reason why, but you almost drowned and you almost lost your suit of armor and all kinds of stuff. Um, um, because it got disenchanted, I think.
No, I don't recall as well. I think it was because the quote unquote magical EMP, you could say.
Yes, something like that.
At least I
Um,
think.
and something I don't remember the exact nature. Either way, for some reason, oh right, that's what happened. The enchantment mites got loose in the ship and effectively disenchanted your armor. You're just eating the magic that's emanating from your enchantment on your
Hmm.
armor. So it's preventing all kinds of things from happening that should be happening. Either way, you managed to get captured. I don't remember if you had your armor or not.
I
Don't
could
remember.
send it away and put it back whenever I wanted.
Yes, but I remember that the enchantment mites were preventing that function from happening, so I don't remember.
So they captured me with my armor, which I fortunately enough bluffed through, saying was locked due to the enchantment mites.
Perhaps I don't remember. Either way,
Something at least.
if there's an incongruity, it's because it's been a long time, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
remember, and I didn't have time to rewatch, and all of that stuff. So, um, I'm just going to message the two people who are one person. um,
For the
uh,
moment.
I don't know how that's happening. Apparently, Ben and Preben are sending the exact same messages at the exact same time somehow. Um, no idea
Copy
why.
pasting? Mm.
No idea. Anyway, um, so your character was captured on the ship, and Ben's character, the cursed captain, managed to leap towards the other ship, causing the curse to instead attack the enemy ship, and it's succeeded in destroying their ship, which led you to being washed up on an island. Um, you don't know what one. You don't know where you are. Um, you just know that you're on a tropical-esque island, so it has palm trees and those various sorts of fauna and flora, at least from what you've seen. And your character in particular went to a different part of the island, which you separated from the two other survivors that you know of from the wreck.
Mm-hmm.
This weird-looking human with emerald-colored armor, emerald-colored plate armor, I should be specific in saying, and he um, goes by the name of Ken, and the unfortunate other member of your crew, the cursed captain, who is also alive. You separated from them to leave for just a moment and go see if you can find something helpful, is how I remember it. See if you can find food or supplies, anything. And you manage to encounter a pool of water in the middle of the island, and a house built on some sort of bamboo, maybe? You're not sure, some sort of weird reed-like plant. Um, and you swam out to the um, house that was on poles above the water, and you momentarily got spooked by probably what was a small octopod type creature. That when you struggled against it, it just sort of let go and ran away. Um, and you climbed up into her house, and you had a conversation with her after she came back. You started investigating her hovel,
Mm-hmm.
um, and you found that she hunts these little octopodal creatures for sustenance, perhaps. And she has some sort of weird writings in this book that you tried to read, but I'm pretty sure you don't understand Aquan, so you did not
No, I
read them.
don't.
So you did not read them, and you started talking with her. She seems very um, egotistical, maybe, is the best way to describe it. She seems like she's frustrated with regular people and just wanted to come to this island to get away from people and study whatever is here. And she managed to find some sort of weird culture of underwater creatures that you are not entirely sure what they are.
Yep.
Either way, back at the beach, the last thing we did was the cursed captain noticed some movement in the woods, and apparently your companion that you currently have with you at the moment um, also noticed these creatures moving, and they started approaching with weapons towards the cursed captain and Ken, where he is also residing. And that is where we left off. So, from your character's perspective, you're just about to continue your conversation with this lady to see if you can figure out this female elf to determine anything helpful other than her pointing out that there are other people around, and you hear what sounds like um, perhaps a scream from somebody back the way that you came. But other than that, where you are, things seem calm.
Oh boy, that doesn't sound good.
She goes, oh, perhaps. I mean, could be fine. She seems very disinterested in going to find out what's going on.
Well, I can take a look at what it is, but if it's your fishy friends, I don't know how well peaceful things will go, to be honest.
Well, I had to assimilate into their society in order to even get any small modicum of information from them.
Well, I guess they speak in the writing that I can't read.
Yes, it is the elemental language known as Aquan.
Ah, yes. Something I totally don't have a clue about how to speak, write, or read.
Fair enough. So then you're going to need a interpreter if you want to do that, but we're just sort of having a calm conversation, and whatever happened over there seems to be perhaps done with? You listen and it's eerily quiet.
Yeah, now that you mention it, uh, might be an unlucky lass who didn't follow up my advice and not stayed on the beaches just to be safe.
She shrugs. So you guys crash landed here?
Well, crash landed, well, more like shipwrecked here.
Hmm. Same difference, but
Well, the one is from the air, the other is from the sea. So there's a difference.
semantics, really. She starts thinking. She says, well, the natives here do not usually take kind to strangers, even if they are accidentally here.
Oh, that's not good then at all. So that scream was no good news. I hope it was only one lass that was not smart enough to go, not to follow my advice and stay on the beach.
Not sure. And she's sort of sitting there thinking as you can make a perception check.
Yay, +0. And it is, drum roll,
5. It says on
5.
my screen.
Yeah, I can
Um,
see that. I don't see it.
okay. So, here's what happens. You continue your conversation for now. She seems to be deep in thought, or slightly deep in thought. Just sort of pondering.
So I was curious, what are those? I'm not quite sure if I actually inquired about the octopuses that are in the water.
She goes, oh, there. And she motions over to one of the dried out skins inside her hut. She goes, they don't provide much sustenance, they're mostly water. But they are good for making some sort of semblance of paper.
Yeah, well, you consider trying to fish in the sea? I mean,
I'm not really fishing for food. The society of these creatures, they tend to give me more than enough for what I need.
well, okay, just thinking a little bit ahead then. Well, if they make good paper, then well, you at least found a use for them.
Yeah, she shows you. She starts walking over towards the table where that's underneath where these things are being dried. And she just sort of quickly draws a little survival knife and she just starts slicing them down and then just opens them up and they look kind of they have the same consistency when they're dried out, kind of like paper, or some sort of skin that people would write on. uh, they have it has a specific name, but I can't think of it at the moment.
Yeah, me neither.
Either way, and she just sort of pulls the legs together to create um, a sort of flat sheet of paper. And you notice that part of her book is made of regular paper, but then the back part of the book seems like it was just added on pages that are just made of this weird semblance of creature flesh, maybe. And it's just sort of flattened out, and the legs of the creature are just sort of um, with a little bit of water added, they just sort of stick together and look almost unnoticeable. Um, they look quite flat, and if she adds water to any particular portion of the octopodal creature, it sort of flattens out as she rubs the water on it. So it's kind of an interesting looking, because it looks like a creature, and then when she adds water to the dried out husk, it just sort of flattens out slightly, and it's kind of eerie, if not fascinating.
So, question: do you not miss the city life or missing any these materials you would need right here, right now?
Why would I miss it? I have every supply I could possibly need. As you can see, I've created paper. And ink, well, she just sort of motions to the side, and there's little black sacks. She probably harvested them from the same creature. And she just sort of says, ink? And
Well, I
anything
don't
else?
mean like to write, but more like clothing and such. I mean, in this kind of environment, I don't see normal clothing survive that long.
And you notice that she is currently wearing like a bathing suit equivalent of clothing. And she says, this does fine. I spend most of my time underwater anyway.
And you're sure you're not missing like regular clothing instead of this suit?
She seems perturbed by your continued asking.
Just trying to make sure.
She nods and she says, just as tedious as the rest, under her breath.
Well, excuse me, I'm quite the handyman.
I'm sure you are, she says very condescendingly.
Oh yes, I quite am. Just slowly reconstruct my suit of armor. Just sure, I'm quite am the handyman, eh?
She just nods silently. You can make another perception check.
Make my suit disappear as she nods. 10.
This time it's a little easier, DC. So this time you actually do hear something. You hear what sounds like um, something perhaps trampling or stepping on foliage coming from outside the hut.
Uh, Not to intrude, but I do hear some people around the hut.
Alright, they're coming.
You mean your friends, right?
Well, this is one of the entrances to their home.
Oh, great.
She just sort of continues what she was doing, which is completing this lopsided sheet of paper.
You know, they might not attack you, but what about me?
Hmm, didn't think of that. And you hear what sounds like noises of splashing water.
I guess they're chitter-chattering.
You don't hear anyone talking, you just hear the splashing of water.
I guess they're getting pretty close and can't quite turn invisible yet.
She just sort of continues making the sheet of paper. She
Um,
she's like the curvature of the creature's head, she's currently smoothing out into a more squared edge.
I can still misty step. Do I see? Wait, that's only 30 feet. Um,
Yeah,
from the
the
wind.
pond that you are currently in, the house that you are
Mhm.
currently on, is in the middle of the pond, and it has a much larger radius than 30 feet.
Is there any hole in the roof?
No, it's like pure thatched plant matter.
Okay, stick my head out of the window and bamf myself up the roof.
Alright, you do so. You are now standing on the roof.
I just spread out my weight so that I don't just fall through in one go, and then just wait.
Alright, are you looking for the direction of the noise, or just sort
I'm,
of standing there?
I'm trying to hide myself and see what's making the noise.
Okay, make a perception check. Since you're hiding. So to remain hidden, you might not see what you need to see.
17.
Alright, 17. You look, you're sort of like on the other opposite side of the sound of the house, and you're just sort of peering over the edge of the thatched roof. Um, and you see the cursed captain being dragged unconscious in chains, because obviously he wouldn't go willingly.
Mhm.
Um, and Ken, who is the Emerald Knight, he just sort of he's conscious, but he's just sort of standing there with chains around his wrists. And they are currently dragging both of them into the water. These weird snake-like, fish-like creatures. They look like a cross between a fish and some sort of snake, maybe. Their
You
tail.
are not referring to Yanti, I'm hoping.
Unfortunately, no.
Phew.
Um,
No, that's
these
actually a good thing.
these things have like they kind of look like they have like fins and perhaps gills on the sides of their face, and they have arms and hands. but the bottom part of them is just sort of long and slender and kind of snake-like.
Well, I can try and make a nature check.
You can attempt to, yes.
17.
Alright. These are a rare, but existent creature in the oceans. They're a close cousin to the mermaids and mermen. They are called marrow.
Like, as in bone marrow?
That is what they are called, but they are fish-like creatures. Let me pull up a picture if I possibly can. But yes, it is spelt the same way as bone marrow. They are in the main book. So if you have some way of searching that, you might be able to find them.
Yeah, I do. It's for Mark, Alexander. What's MAR? That's how you spell
Yeah.
Merit.
Whoops. Sorry. It is not spelt the same way.
Yeah.
It is
How?
MERR.
MERR.
Yeah.
But there we go. It's monstrosity. And I have an image. Let me just throw it into. I said copy the image.
It's right
Throw it.
here. I do have it in
Yeah.
the book.
Okay,
You
that's
can see it.
handy. Yeah, yeah, I can. It's a bit hazy, but I can see. Don't
Alright.
worry, I have my online handy dandy booky
Yes.
stuffy.
It is very. They are considered normally, since you got high enough on your nature. If basically in the field guide that you would read this kind of information in, if you are to encounter this creature in any form, way, or like in any circumstance, you are considered to handle them with caution because they are armed most of the time and they will attack you, no
Okay,
matter if you have good intentions or not.
okay. Just pull my gauntlet only from the pocket dimension and aim at a
Actually,
distance.
I'll give you a little bit of information. Apparently, they from the lore, like the legends,
Mhm.
they found an ancient idol under the sea, and they were transformed into being like this, and they were merfolk originally.
Yes. So what I'm gonna do is just pull my gauntlet, a gauntlet, not also just a gauntlet from the pocket dimension my suit is in.
Okay.
Aim it, then aim at just in the very far off forest and try and distract them with uh, force blasts. So
Okay.
when the impact hits, it just makes loud sound, and and I can send that 30 feet away. Yay! Damn it!
So it hits the water, but it hit the exact target you were aiming for, which would be the water 30 feet away, which they are not at yet. They're at the edge of the pool, which is why you heard the splashing. But it looks like they're attempting to drag the unconscious body of the cursed captain underwater.
Oh
Um,
boy, that's not good.
so you hit the water if that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah, try to distract them.
Okay, I was
Uh,
just making sure that that's what your goal was, because if it wasn't, then I'd let you take that back. But,
yeah, I tried to shoot it way farther in, like way in the forest, trying to make them think there's someone else.
well, if you didn't want to hit the water, I can let you retract that and do something else if you want.
I'm trying to figure it out right now. Boy, this is not good.
Because I'll forgive you, like, it was months since we've done this, so I'll forgive you for
Uh,
not knowing that your range was 30 feet.
Mage Hand, how far can you go, my little?
It can't go
Also
much
30
further.
feet.
Yeah. And once
Oh,
it
hello.
tries to leave that range, it gets sort of stuck. It's sort of like
Mm-hmm.
I described before. It gets stuck on an edge that isn't perceivable to you, but is insurmountable to the hand.
And I also have the jump ability for free,
You do
but
have
that
jump.
wouldn't. But that wouldn't help me quite at all.
I mean, you could jump really high. I mean, if that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah, or like jump real far, just like you see those action movies jump over a ravine or something.
Yes. Or in like really old kung fu movies where they sort of like float in the air weirdly.
Yeah, for like 5 minutes straight.
Pretty much. Actually, there
Um,
was a movie that was really old. I remember watching that. They jumped from treetop to treetop, and they were super far away. It was interesting.
let's see. We're in kind of a jungle, if I'm correct.
Yes, it is a tropical. It's like if you were a ranger, it would be considered tropical or
Mm.
forest, depending
And
on.
of course, in this pond, in on top of this house, there are no trees. So says
You're in the
lake
middle
there.
of a. It's not perfectly circular, but a
Yeah.
small pond. Like it looks like a pond, but it when you were swimming to this house, it was much deeper. Like eventually, it got much deeper. You don't know how deep, but you couldn't see the bottom. So
Okay. If I were to normal jump from the house, how far could I make it?
you can make it off the edge of the house and into the middle of the water, no matter which direction you jumped.
Okay, and now times three that.
Okay, if you times three that, depending on which direction you jump, you might, depending on your roll, be able to reach the edge.
Okay, then I want to add on that my strength modifier is a +6, so at 22 in strength.
Yes, so if you did a running jump, it would be athletics. If you
Mm-hmm.
did not do a running jump, then it would be acrobatics.
Okay, so yeah, do a running jump. So if I were to do that, I would reach the edge, but they are at the edge.
They let me just try to describe it. They're here, like on the southern, we'll say for now, on the southern part, and you're in the middle, and you could jump to this side or this part up here, but they're down here because it's not perfectly circular, like I said.
Okay, so if I'm in the middle, I'm going to, like you said, jump to for you. You said, well, I saw your camera this side, but for you, if I were to do it correctly, it would be this side, correct? Oh wait,
It
still
would
this.
be, since it was south, that would be the western side or the northern side.
Yeah,
So those are the two
this.
that you have.
Yeah, if I were to do it incorrect in camera correct, I do need to do it here. So yeah. So yeah, then I'm gonna jump that side with the jump ability I have.
Okay. So you cast jump. So mark off whatever you need to mark off to do
I
that.
don't need to mark it off because it's like a feat I can do once a day.
Fair enough. So I guess that would be marking off your feet usage until the next time you can use it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so you cast jump on yourself. The first thing you need to do, since you're doing a running jump on a thatched roof,
Mm,
um, you're gonna
I'm
need
risky.
to make a general dexterity.
You just said athletics.
Yes, general dexterity first, because you're running on a thatched roof.
Oh boy.
So the thatched roof can pile through,
Oh,
which is exactly what happens. um, you aren't dexterous enough and stand on the hardest location. So when you start running, immediately you just sort of fall through the thatched roof. And you fall right onto her, and she was in the middle of trying to put that page that she made into the book that she has. And you just fall on top of her, making a loud thudding noise, and she makes a pained noise whether or not you do, resulting in the Marrow's attention being drawn to you.
Ow, fuck. Should have fallen the test roof.
She said, well, I didn't plan on people running on it.
Yeah, fair enough. Let me help you. I, I, I pet her shoulder, giving her at least some healing for the damage that I done to her.
You didn't fall. You didn't fall far enough to cause damage, but
Okay, that's fair enough
she
then.
appreciates the gesture if you do it.
Yeah, I do it and then just get up.
Okay. Okay. I just looked
A
at.
bit against the pain.
I just looked at the Facebook chat. Apparently, they're the same person still. Um, they're still sending the same message. I don't know how that's happening, but anyway, I'll ask them later. Um, so, yes.
Get up, and
You
this time just go the normal way, I guess.
do you start walking out the door?
Nope. Hop out the window and just set myself off against the wall. Because 30 feet of jump, it's kind of a jump, right?
You can jump 30 feet if you want.
No, it's
I mean,
times 3 because it lost a minute.
oh yes, time through. Yes, you do stand up, and you do make it to the outside of the house if you want to climb through the same window that you climbed through before.
Well, I'm just going to go by the window, then just launch myself 90 feet. No, wait, that's times 2 times. Yeah, that's times 3.
Okay, so you still can just barely reach the edge if you want to try to do that.
Yeah, I just barely reached the edge, but then before I hit the water, suit on.
Okay, so what I'm gonna need is your athletics check this time.
Something I am good in, but not proficient.
Oh, give it a go.
14.
Alright, you barely make it to the very edge of the water, and however, you do make a splashing noise when you hit the ground.
Don't worry, because I'm just planning to get their attention so that they don't drag the cursed captain into the water unconscious.
You see these marrow creatures just sort of glance over in the direction where you currently landed.
I make as much noise and commotion as I can while trying to get to the edge.
Okay, you start like throwing your
Well, that would be easy.
arms around and everything in the water, and
It
you
would
make a bunch of splashing noises.
Yeah, I wanted to just say it would be easy in a giant suit that's like heavy footsteps, splosh, splash, sploosh.
But I'm just saying that since you want to make more noise than you were going to before, then you just start flailing your arms in the water, making splashing sounds. That's easy enough for you to do.
Yeah,
So they're looking at you, a couple of them. The
I
rest of them are continuing the chain gang, if you will, down into the water.
I just try get to the edge and trying to make my way over to them.
Okay, so you're walking towards them now?
Yep, trying to save the cursed captain because he's not here.
Okay.
Curse him!
Don't worry, I did ask him and planned, so don't worry. Um, he's not going to be mad at you. But either way, um, so you're headed in their direction?
Yep, not
Alright,
because of that, because this is literally something pirates would do, help one another.
fair enough. However, there were three in the original group that attacked the Curse Captain. However, since you just sort of left the situation alone, they notified others of their kind, and there are now like 10 of them. So
Ugh.
3 of them break off from the group, and the others are continuing into the water.
For fuck's sake.
So the 3 of them break off from the group, and they're in water now. So they just sort of go under the water, and you see them kind of like in the movie Jaws. You see the little fins above the water as they're swimming towards you.
I just watched those fins go and slowly lift my hand to go like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3
Okay,
fried
what's the
fish,
range they need to be in?
30 feet.
Okay, so they're gonna
That's,
rush towards you. I'm gonna roll some dice just because I haven't determined the exact distance. So I'm just gonna roll some dice, see how close they get to you before you're able to react. So just a regular d20 will be fine. Okay, that's bad for them. So yeah, they're swimming slowly. Perhaps they didn't anticipate that you were going to just attack them immediately.
no, I'm just
You're not
like,
sure.
if they jump at me,
They're underwater still. They're going to remain underwater until they reach you.
oh, we're gonna play that game.
I
Kneel
mean,
down.
this is
Oh,
what they do. This is where they live, water. So
well, good thing I have another trick up my sleeve. Just kneel down by the edge, stick one of my hand in. Time to fry a lot of fish.
okay, so you cast that as they get in range. I'll say that you've ready actioned.
No, I can just stick it in the water and let go.
But yes, I'm gonna say that you ready actioned, and then when they got close enough, then you used it. So 10 does not hit them.
Bugger. No, don't mean like that. Electricity through water means
Yes.
um.
Yes, unfortunately, they do have an AC, which you did not hit.
Okay, bugger.
You still have to pierce through their natural or scaled armor or whatever it is that they
Mhm.
have, which they have natural armor. So you still have to get the electricity through their armor to
Sure.
hurt them.
Okay. Uh,
I don't
yes,
know
I
if
have.
you cut out or not, but I
Oh, yeah,
only heard you say okay.
I said, okay, I stand back up and get out my Warhammer.
Okay,
Because I
fair
have a
enough.
Warhammer.
So it is now initiative time as they are now immediately within fighting distance. So, boop, boop.
Shouldn't we switch maps for this since I recall one of the maps having. Oh, wait, this is not being used anymore, so scrap that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna switch maps. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Okay, then I can wait.
I don't know if it dragged you or not. No, it didn't.
No, it didn't. I'm
So
still.
just give me a second. Just give me a second. There. You should be dragged now.
Yep, now's the question, which token phase was Jazai?
Well, you do have a character
I
token.
do.
Or sheet, so based on that sheet, he should have a token. Unless if you didn't give him one.
Yeah,
Just
yeah, the Blue Man Group. Ba-dum.
oh yes. Okay, so you rolled a 13. And this creature, or these creatures in general, they have a initiative of 0. So it's just a d20. And they got 13.
Okay, was there a Dex mod?
Their dex is 0.
Yay, I outbeat him.
So, that means that you get to go first. So, they're swimming towards you.
Going to play whack-a-mole to the first one that pops up.
Fair enough. However, you are technically acting before them, so they're still underwater.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the first one that dares to pop up, then whack-a-mole with him. Or
Okay, so
them.
you're going to hold your action?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you wish to use any movement or bonus action or anything else?
No. Because
Okay.
readying action uses, well, uses action, so I can't do like dodge.
Yes, it uses your action. But if you want to use the other stuff, you have to use it before I switch to the
Mm-hmm.
other opponent. So,
No, I don't. That's it.
okay. So, it is them. Therefore, they are going to use. Well, two are going to stay behind because that's a smart thing for them to do. Uh, so, just looking at ranges here. Okay, there we go. Perfect. So, two of them are going to remain behind, and the other one is going to approach. However, before the first one approaches, the other two sort of pop out of the water 20 feet away, and they're going to throw their harpoons. Because that's a thing that they have.
Okay, that's fair.
So, one, two.
Ouchie, ouch.
Do either of those hit?
Yeah, they do. Otherwise, I would have dink dink.
Okay, so they hit for two. Plus, what was it? Four. There we go.
It is, let's see, a harpoon is 2d6 plus 4.
Yes. So they dealt the exact same number somehow. Both of them.
Ouch.
So they deal 14 damage, both of them, as they just sort of pop out of the water 20 feet away.
8.
And the harpoon, the target is a huge or smaller creature. It must succeed on a strength contest. Okay,
Huge
wonderful. So,
or smaller creature.
yeah, huge or smaller. So you are smaller than huge.
Mm-hmm. I must
So
succeed on a strength save, correct?
it's a contested strength.
Oh, that
So,
means athletics.
yes. Yeah, it's a strength contest. It's basically
17.
a grapple. Okay, and you get to roll again because there's two harpoons. So their strength is +4.
I think I'm gonna fail the second time.
Okay, that's number one. You fail number one.
Okay,
And number
ouch.
two.
Double ouch.
So, or be pulled up to 20 feet. So you get pulled.
40 feet.
Well, they're only 20 feet away, and you get pulled toward them. Therefore, you can't get pulled more than 20. So you get pulled up to the guy who's swimming towards you, and he is just going to immediately hop out of the water and
Whack.
try to hit you anyway.
He gets bonked on the head real hard.
Yes, that's true. You were holding your action, and 20 does hit him
16.
for 16. Come on, stop being slow. Okay, 16. He's not bloodied yet, so.
I'm not putting a dent in them at all, am I?
He's not bloodied yet, is the only information I can give you. Yes, they get pulled, or you get pulled towards him, and he's just gonna leap out of the water and try to hit you with 2
Please,
attacks.
Dink.
Both with +6. So 1, 2.
Dinky dink dink.
Alright. So he leaps out of the water and tries to bite you with his piranha fish-like mouth. And he just hits your armor, and then he tries to hit you with his clawed hands, which also does nothing. So it is now your turn.
Time to play very hard whack-a-mole with this one.
Oops.
Those hit.
Yes. Unfortunately, he does not have a 29 AC.
That's a 14, that's a 13, that's make it 27 total damage.
Okay. Ooh. Let me just double check. He is considered bloodied. So that means he's between 50% HP and his death. That's all that can tell you.
Bugger, I totally forgot I'm at low HP. Hooray!
So, that was your turn, I assume?
Yep, I'm screwed. I literally have 40 hit points left.
Enemy turn. The others are going to back slightly away, and they're going to throw their harpoons at you.
Ah, fuck.
I mean, it's... They are very militaristic, and they wish for you to not kill them. So they're acting strategically, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm trying to save a friend.
That's fair. However, this happens. 17 and 11.
Dink and dink.
Okay, so the harpoons reflect off of your armor. They didn't hit the same
Spots.
weak points that they hit before. However, the creature that is within melee of you is going to multi-attack with his claws and bite. 1, 2. So his bite hits you, it looks like, for 1d8 plus 4.
That I would survive that. Barely.
So that's 9 damage.
Oh god,
His teeth sink into a weakness in your armor.
5 hit points left.
Alright. As the turn initiative returns to the top of the initiative order, you hear a voice coming from the house, and momentarily the marrow seemed distracted.
I've had sleep in a well, I'm battered up, bruised up. I'm bleeding out of every orifices.
They are distracted for the moment, so this gives you an opportunity. I'm gonna say that this allows you to not provoke any reactions.
Oh god, I can't save the cursed captain. Just my luck.
Well, she saved you, so even though she didn't really like you much and liked them guys more.
I'm going to GTO.
Okay, if that's what you wish. So you choose to bolt.
Well, jump more since 90 feet.
Alright, you jump out of the water and you land in the forest. You're
Just
not
like
sure if they saw you, but you can attempt to. That was your movement, so you can
Mhm.
attempt to do something else if you want.
I'm gonna put my hammer away and do something very stupid. And that is lower my AC. Because I'm sending my army into the pocket dimension.
Okay, you
Just to
do that.
gain a little bit more speed next turn.
Okay, you do that. Anything else? Was that an
Um
action to dismiss it, or
let me double check that for you.
it might be a bonus action to dismiss it, but I
Uh
don't know. Or it might be a free action, I don't know.
oh wait, what?
Unfortunately, this is homebrewed content, so I can't look that up easily for you.
Apparently I don't have the right thing open, so I need to grab that real quick. If I can find it, that is. Gosh darn, why am I so blind? Ah, here we go. Recall. It costs an action.
Okay, so that means that you cannot use your action on that turn for anything else. So that means all you got left is a bonus.
And I bet I can't use it to hide.
Unfortunately, you are not a rogue or equivalent thing that allows you to do that.
So no, I can do Jack Hall.
Okay, so that means they know where you are. So they get angry that they were momentarily distracted, and you hear them chasing you. However, they are much slower on land than they are in the water, so they do not catch up to you.
That's
As
a
a
good
matter
thing.
of fact, their speed on land is 10. So that's why it took them so long to get from where they were to where you are.
hmm So next turn, another Hulk jump.
Okay, if that is what you wish to do.
Yes, to
So
get away as quick as I can.
so that happens. You are way further away than they can possibly ever manage to catch up.
Then I'm going to tend to myself. Oh, thank God.
Alright, so you gain that healing on your character.
hmm
And like I said, they are very, very much slower on land than they are in the water. They can only move 10 feet, whereas in the water they can swim 40. So, unless if you jump into a body of water and they somehow is connected, they probably will not be able to catch up to you.
Yeah, so next turn, another jump away, and then I'm going to hide.
Okay, roll a stealth check.
And if they get too close, then I have the suspicion they can spot me. I have a very high suspicion they can spot me. Because I'm not that dumb.
Okay, well, from your perspective, you are currently hidden,
Yeah.
unfortunately. That's how stealth
Oh,
works.
dog nuts.
Um, so, it is based on wisdom, which is just a d20 roll, so you have less than a quarter chance of succeeding here. Alright, so a few minutes pass, and you hear one of them skulking in the foliage nearby, and your character sort of tries to move to the opposite side of the tree from the creature. However, you aren't used to this topography, and you trip over a root of this tree that you are currently standing next to, and it sort of makes a low but noticeable thunk noise against your boot. and the creature is now suspicious of the location where you currently are.
I'm gonna bolt since I can do that. Since a few minutes have passed, my jump is not active anymore.
Yes. They are slow, so that's why I said a couple minutes, because they can't move nearly as fast as you did.
Mm.
So,
Yep, I'm gonna bolt 60 feet.
alright. You attempt to do that, but since he was suspicious of the location you were at, he is going to reaction harpoon.
Oh boy, I'm dead.
23 to hit.
Yeah, that hits. I went from a 19 all the way to an 11.
Okay, so his harpoon. You do still get your strength save, so you might not get pulled. His strength is plus
Oh, strength
4.
save. Oh, wait, that's strength save. Oh, it's the same number. Yeah, please do it.
Okay, but you still take the damage. So
Yep.
I'm gonna roll the damage, which is 2d6, I think. Yep, 2d6.
6 plus 4.
And you take maximum damage from that.
Oh, I think he took out a lung. Oh
Yeah,
boy.
you do feel him. The harpoon gets shoved right into your side, where you have a feeling that you're currently breathing blood from the puncture wound. And when he tries to pull it back, it has this jagged edge, and it just rips and makes the wound even worse. But you are not pulled, which means that next time he will not be able to hit you because he can't move fast enough.
Okay, yep.
And his range is 60 feet.
I'm gonna bolt again.
Okay.
The adrenaline is just rushing. I'm not feeling the pain. I need to get the hell out of there.
Yeah. And he goes, and he's yelling out into the air.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say bubble to you as well.
It seems as though they are saying something, but you just don't understand it. But yes, you start running away. And like I said, he can only move 10 feet on land, so he cannot possibly reach you or throw his harpoon far enough. He tries, but he just hits the ground behind you, like 30 feet behind you. So he
Once
can't
I
he can't possibly hit you.
once I know I am 450 feet away from that creature.
Okay, I'm gonna actually roll a d20 because there may be another one nearby.
Oh boy.
Lucky for you, there is not.
Yeah, once I'm 450 feet away, I'm gonna climb up and use the height to my advantage to hide.
Okay, so roll a stealth. It's unfortunately still the same. Because he can look up, unfortunately.
Oh, bug nuts!
Okay, his perception is just a d20, so you have a decent chance.
Yeah, once and for the time that I'm up there, I'm gonna fix myself up again. Cause
Okay, yeah, it takes him a couple minutes because they're slow to get to you.
fuck, I'm gonna die.
However, one of them does start approaching, and you start worrying again. You try to move your position in the tree, and one of the leaves, just the large palm leaves, just snaps and falls off and falls in front of the guy's face, unfortunately. And he just sort of looks up in your direction.
Fuck. I'm gonna do something crazy, and that is going full Tarzan.
Okay. What do you wish to do?
Jump, jumping trees. I'm literally going from one tree to another tree to another tree.
Okay, so that is an acrobatics check. Because
Ah,
there's nowhere to run. So you can't get a running start.
ah!
Unfortunately, you do grab something. However, it is a palm leaf. And it snaps off the tree and you fall to the ground. And you take 2d6. Because
Not
it's
max damage. Not max damage.
9.
Oh yay! My wasted healing.
And, unfortunately, harpoon is going to happen.
Oh no! Just kick me! Don't harpoon me.
It has no feet, so it cannot kick you. So
Scratch me. Wait, scratch me worse.
it can only move 10 feet per round, so it is too far away, so it's just gonna throw its harpoon, unfortunately.
Oh fuck! Wait,
I
this is
mean,
next
if
turn,
you're
right?
if you were a tortoise walking around and you had a harpoon attached to you and you needed to attack something, you would attack it with the harpoon because you're too slow.
Okay, I did use my action. Thank God. Wait, I did. Fuck.
Yeah, you tried to jump, and unfortunately you fell, so the result is him trying to hit you. So harpoon, which is +6. 17.
Like I said, my armor class. I threw it down the well. Stupid me.
So it is 2d6 +4.
Don't even bother.
You take 12 damage.
KO, and I am
You
currently
unconscious.
dying.
Like if you're considered dying, he was non-lethally hitting you.
Oh.
So as the harpoon sinks into you, you're just about to fall to the ground when you realize that he pulls you towards him and he starts picking you up, puts the harpoon on his back, and consciousness fades from you. However, you are not dead. You do not need to make death saving throws.
This,
All right. So the next thing that happens is you awaken and you sort of open your eyes slightly and you realize you're underwater.
is that it that you're gonna say? Just still checking?
You realize you're underwater. I was giving you a chance to
Yeah,
react if you wanted to.
just out of pure reflex, pull back my armor around me and use the sealed suit ability.
Okay. The sealed suit ability, fortunately for you, even though you are currently underwater when you summoned it, it pumps out the water. So for now,
I
you are
think it
able to
even
breathe.
says
I don't know if it says that or not, but I'm going to say that that's what happens. Even if you are in an area where it doesn't make sense for it to. But anyway, um, so you're momentarily surrounded by water once you start pumping it out. However, as soon as the water is pumped out of your suit and you start breathing air, you start suffocating.
oh, for fuck's sake. Uh, unseal.
Okay, so you're keeping the suit on but unsealing it?
Yep.
Okay. So it drains the water back in, and you are able to breathe water and nothing else, apparently.
And I start going full pirate cursing.
Alright, you start cursing, and as you do so, you start taking in your surroundings. Um, you are in a spherical cage, perhaps? Although there is only a few bars that you can see through. And they're on the front of the cage. It's sort of a spheroid type cage, and it's complete. Like you look, and it kind of looks like a shell, like the inside of a creature's shell, perhaps. And there's bars in front of you that are made out of this chitinous, like, shell substance. And you are trapped inside this cage. You can only see what's in front of you, which is the
So
cage bars and what's beyond it. You can see something beyond it, but you haven't examined it closely enough to see what's out there.
Well, time to be the deep sea diver and just try and turn on my deep sea diving light. Wait, this
Alright.
is a new suit. Wait, this is a new suit. That's true. I never ever got a chance to install that. Fuck.
Either way, you start looking through. You can look through the cage if you wish.
Hmm.
It looks like you're just sort of at the bottom of the body of water. You can see, like, the silt or whatever substance consists of the bottom of this water area, this water-filled area. It's sort of just waving about. And you sort of just look from side to side. You see more of these cages just sort of set up along the sides of either side of you. And you look forward, and the water is a bit too murky for you to see very far, but you can see that the water just continues on for a while, and then you can't see any further.
Well, since I'm at 1 hit point, I better take a long rest, because then I have all my hit points back. A way better escape attempt.
Alright, sure. You can attempt to rest. And it's a sensation that's been described by astronauts. Like when you're sleeping in space or in weightlessness, your body just sort of curls up into the fetus shape or position, and your body just sort of nonchalantly floats into this fetal position as you attempt to rest, if that's what you wish to do.
Well, I do have a heavy suit of armor that sends me to the bottom when I want to, but
You can
yeah,
either suction cup your feet to the bottom and then sleep standing up, or you can do the weightless sleep if you wish.
yeah. Or you said it was like a spherical cell, right? Or
Yes, it looks if a pearl was big enough, it kind of looks like that shape.
uh, I'm literally going to suction cup up to the wall and sleep like that.
Okay. So you're still in a weird position, but that's okay. You can do that if you wish. Um so a couple hours later, you can take a short rest if you wish.
Bugger. I need a long rest. Let's see how much I can get with expending hit die. 1, 2, 3. Not a lot.
All right.
7 plus 2, then 13 hit points more. Yeah, yeah, 14 hit points.
Okay. So as you're resting, you hear a rattle at the cage in front of you.
I just slowly wake up.
And you look forward, and you see one of these Maro creatures. It actually has like a weirdly normal looking vest on, a leather vest. Um, and it's just sort of got this more, well, slightly. These creatures don't look smart, but this one looks slightly more intelligent than the creatures that you were dealing with before. As it sort of has its claws and hands on this weird-looking vest. And next to this creature is the woman that you were speaking to before, at the in the hut, and she is just sort of swimming nonchalantly next to it.
So
If you wish to do
what?
anything, they haven't interacted with you yet. They just wanted to wake you up.
So I just let the suction cups go from the wall and just float right up again.
Alright. They're watching you.
So I just watch them. So why can't I be there anymore?
Is that what you say?
That's what I ask. Yes.
Okay. And she looks at the creature and she whispers something and it responds. I'm not gonna keep making the bubbly noises, but that's how they talk. Um, either way, um, or the gurgly noises. But anyway, um, they respond to each other a couple of times, and then she responds to you saying, "It's magic."
Ah, well, good to know that then.
Well, they're slightly barbaric, but they do not wish to kill you, at least yet.
Yet, okay, that's good-ish.
Well, they are expending resources to keep you alive.
Yeah, that's true. What about my not also not so very working with them friend, so to say?
If you mean the
Friends,
green one and the violent one,
yes, both of them actually.
they're alive. They're in a similar predicament to you, but they're alive.
I was already worried that they were gonna bring my unconscious friend on the water and actually accidentally drown him.
They gave him the same magic that they gave you
Okay,
before they were attempting to pull him underwater.
that's good to know. So now what?
She whispers to the creature. The creature has its hands in its vest. If he were human, you would suspect that he looks hoity-toity and rich, but he's this weird underwater fish creature, and it's kind of odd, but how your character interprets that is up to you. Um, Either way, he just sort of holds his hands around his vest like this, and he just responds to her in a bubbly like voice, and she translates, and she says, "What are you doing on the land plantation?"
Land plantation?
She whispers to him, and he seems quite frustrated, and he goes, "Run!" And she goes, "Yes, what I said before."
Well, accidentally being stranded and waiting for my people to get me off the island so that we can continue our journey?
She responds, and the creature responds, but he goes back to a more calm demeanor, and she responds, translating. He wants to know if there are any more coming.
Well, didn't I say so? Someone was coming to get me off the island and then we would leave the island alone. That's it. Nothing more.
She responds, and he responds again, and he looks very smug and proud of himself for a man with a fish face. Um, and she goes, He said that you're definitely not a priority.
Oh, great. So,
And he
priority of what?
continues talking. He continues talking. And she goes, he has a proposition for you.
Which is.
And he starts acting more hoity-toity and just sort of like motioning with his hands with grandiose gestures. And then he suddenly just gets really serious and then he clenches his fist as he's talking. And she goes, he says you can farm his plantation and be part of a much more grand scheme of living, and you can live out the rest of your life here peacefully, or they can kill you.
I just start laughing in his face like he's made the best joke in that I ever heard in my life.
Okay, so he laughing isn't one of the most common things that his species does, but he is aware of what you're trying to get across. And he just sort of gets this furrowed brow, kind of angry look, and he goes and says something. And she says, perhaps your friends will be more pliable. And he swims off.
Ugh, that was a good joke you just told me. You think I didn't have a life here before? Oh, you're so wrong.
She she just sort of shrugs and says, I'm only a translator at the moment. I can't do anything else.
That's okay. Like I said, I'm a handyman.
She starts swimming towards where he was because apparently he is interrogating more than just you.
Yeah, so I just continue. Well, since I can not expand I since it's just talking, then more than I can just wait and finish. Hopefully, a long rest.
2 hours later,
No, fudge.
um, uh, you hear another rattle at your cage.
Okay, I look over since 1 hour, then my half my hit dice get back, so I can another hour can spend three again. Woo! Fucking hell, another crap it, 28 hit points. Fucking hell.
You see another marrow creature. This one looks much more similar to the ones that you faced on the shore.
So again, just drop down to the floor and look at him like, now what?
He sticks his hand into the cage and he just sort of does this motion with one of his fingers.
Does what?
Like this.
Okay, just slowly make my way over.
As you get close enough, he quickly and deftly just jabs a spear through the cage.
I said slowly, so I'm just I'm on
The
my guard,
cage
like,
isn't that big.
okay,
It's like 10 feet from one side
okay.
to the other. So,
This time I have my armor on, so yay!
so he's gonna swing his harpoon, which is a +6,
Fuck!
22. And he deals 2d6 plus 4. Okay. 11 damage. And he looks like he's not going to stop.
So I grab him by the throat and just bonk him right in the face with some lightning and more lightning.
Okay, the 17 hits. Unfortunately, the 8 does not.
14.
Okay. He takes 14 damage.
Then back the hell away.
Alright. As you do, he just sort of grins and he readies his spear to just throw it at you through the cage.
Which is like hard to do since we know that wouldn't that be three quarter or half cover or
No, unfortunately, they have just enough room for him to stick his arm through. So he just sticks his arm through and tries to throw it at you to the other end of the cage.
okay.
They don't want to fool around when they're executing someone. So, harpoon, which is +6 again. I'm gonna try to streamline this a little bit and just use the little clicky thing. So here, 20.
It hits.
Okay. You take 8 damage.
Yay, I'm at 9 hit points. Wait,
As he grins.
hold on, I just need to double check something. Bugger. I need to finish a long rest to get those spells back. I should have made my escape attempt 2 hours ago, damn it.
Fortunately, they decided to execute you. So it is your turn.
I can't win this. I literally can't win this.
You can.
If I were to bonk him enough time on the face, but then he literally needs to roll an 18 the next time.
Well, it's a +6, so if he needs to hit 18, there's a decent chance that he will not.
Yep, that's the problem. Because I need to keep bonking him in the face to actually murder him.
He needs to roll a 12 or less. Or less than a 12, technically.
He at least needs to roll an 18. That's below my armor class.
18 is below.
Yep.
Well, then it's 12. 12 or lower.
I'm gonna die here. Well, so be it. Bonkety bonk bonk.
19 and 18 both hit. 11 and 11.
Not enough to kill him. I'm sure of that.
He is bloodied.
Yep, and with, I guess, just barely alive.
Oh, he's got like 10 HP left.
I knew it.
So, let's see what happens. 11.
Yes, yes.
Alright.
Vengeance shall be mine.
Those both hit.
He's dead. First hit.
Okay, let me just add that. Yes, he is unconscious, at the very least.
I'm gonna smash my cage with the second hit.
Alright, you deal 13 damage to the cage. And the cage door, it breaks a little bit, but it's not open enough for you to just walk through.
I am going to heal myself up a little bit more. 'Cause I need it. I'm gonna do this twice, since those are our last 2 level 2 spell slots. Fucking hell yes! It's 10. It's 27.
Alright.
It's
So you heal.
36. So I'm going to smash that gate again, because I want to get the hell out now, because they made me pissed.
Okay. But since you
30
did
hit.
that, just give me a second. Okay. You hit the cage with a 30 for 11, which breaks the door. And you see the unconscious floating Marrow in front of you with his
I'm gonna
harpoon.
take it. Yep, I'm gonna take his harpoon and gonna use it in many ways.
Okay. You take his harpoon. However, you notice that there is a chain attached to it, and it's wrapped around his arm, so it's going to take you 30 seconds to detach it from his arm.
Screw the harpoon then, and then I'm just going to go topside.
Okay? And okay. So, um I was rolling to see if he survived. Which
Don't
he
mess with the kid.
unfortunately died. With a natural 1 on his last possible saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Don't mess
he
with the
is
kid.
way past it. So, if you're going to attempt to swim to the surface, you notice that there are other cages around you before you start swimming up, but you can't see the surface from where you currently are.
Okay, I'm going to check the cages. Hopefully I'm going to find some help, because I need it.
Alright? You check cage number 1, and you see what looks like a human slumped over. Well, technically, he can't be slumped over because he's underwater. So he's in the fetal position, just sort of floating in the middle of the cage.
Smashy smash smash.
Right, you're gonna have to hit the cage. Alright, that hits the cage, of course.
That's a 20.
Alright, you just
Total damage.
barely deal enough damage to break in the cage. So the cage door is open.
So I just grab the guy by the arm and shake him.
You shake him. He seems unconscious.
I'm
At the
just
very least. You can roll a medicine check to see if he's alive or not.
12.
He appears to be alive. He's just sort of sleeping. But he's
Just,
not waking up when you shake him.
just poke him then with a finger.
Okay, you poke him, and he just goes, "What are you doing?"
Breaking you out.
I was hoping to get enough rest to heal up. And you recognize this voice. This is the cursed captain.
Well, they tried to murder me.
Yeah,
Guess,
they
guess
said the
who's
same.
next from them?
They
Guess
said
who's
the
next from
same
them?
thing to me, but they haven't come to me yet.
Well, there might be. Well, get your curse here and let and kick some ass with it.
Not sure it works that way, but I mean, I can try to do something.
Well, as am I, and I float off to then swim off to the other second cage, hoping to find the green emerald captain.
Alright, you start going over to the next cage, and you see in the middle of the cage, even though he has plate mail on, um, He's still floating in the middle of the cage, and he's just sort of in the fetal position.
Smashy, smash, smash.
Yeah, you deal enough damage to break the cage door.
And then also just poke him to wake him up.
Okay. You poke him sufficiently, and he awakens. And he says, What's going on?
We're breaking out.
Okay. As he swims towards you.
Just grab on and I then, because I have adaptive armor, meaning that I just can swim at full speed without any problems.
Yes, you can. However, your companions cannot.
As long they grab onto me, I can just let them move on my movement speed. Hopefully, I guess. I think. I don't know.
Technically, if you're moving another person who is slower than you or not moving, you move at half speed.
Ah.
Which is still more than they can move. So
Wait, they would also move half speed, wouldn't they?
they're moving at your speed because you're pulling them faster than they can move.
Ah.
So they're
Okay.
moving at your speed, but your speed is halved.
Okay, and what's their normal speed then?
Their normal speed is half their regular movement speed.
So normal speed for, well, my half speed, which would be half my normal speed, which is 15 feet, and for them also 15 feet.
Yes, exactly.
Wait, isn't Ben's character a monk?
Yes, he is a monk. So it would be half his movement speed, whatever that is.
No,
I don't know what his movement speed is.
because I thought monks got something to, like, move on water or something.
Well, I don't know. It's been quite a while. So, Ben's characters, where are those?
Well, under Ben.
Geo. Yeah, his is the first one. Okay. Okay, the Cursed Captain. There we go. There we go. Says his movement speed is 45.
Oh, 45. Okay, he's
Yes.
even faster than me, so I just need to carry the.
Well, he's faster than you, but not underwater.
He is. Oh no, just 5 feet slower, that's true. But if I were to carry someone like the Emerald, then he would be faster than me.
If you do not carry him, then he is slower. But if you do, then he is faster.
Yes, so so I'm gonna carry the Emerald since, well, he needs it.
Okay. So that's what happens.
We're
Alright, where are you going?
going topside.
Okay, you attempt to swim up. Do you swim straight up?
No, since I know there's a roof or something, so we're going to find the closest exit and then try and just float up.
Okay. So you start swimming around. You're not sure where you're going. However, you soon quickly realize that you are in a cave system of some sort. There is a ceiling, and there are walls, and there is a floor. So you can just swim in a random direction if you want, or you can attempt to figure out what's going on. It's up to you.
I have no dark vision. I'm blind as a bat.
There's somehow a small amount of ambient light.
I'm going to
So
do the
it's
most.
considered low light.
We're in a cave system. I don't know how deep we are. Only thing crazier that I can think I can do is there is a crazier thing I can do, but this is the lowest best thing. I'm gonna try and dig my way up.
Okay, so you're gonna swim to the top of the cave,
So that
and you
would
just
way too much. Oh God, I need to get out of here. Wait, you said the cells were like balls just floating around, right?
they are connected to chains, which are go to the ceiling of the cavern.
Perfect. Time to break a chain.
Okay, just so you're aware, the
Hmm.
chains are quite wide. They're about this wide. Um, that means that there's a hole in the middle, and then there's a piece of metal and a piece of metal on either side. But the whole chain is about that wide.
I just need to break one piece of the chain, so one of the chain link pieces, and then it's easy peasy going.
I suppose it depends on what you want to do with it, but
So
sure,
I
you
guess
can break it. Okay, you have to roll damage because it's an attack.
that's a 10.
It doesn't completely break. It's you dealt damage to it, but it's not broken.
Another
All
20.
right. All right, it is now broken. Where on the chain did you break it?
Like in the middle.
Middle or at the top or at the bottom?
In the middle.
Okay.
So then you have, so I can grab onto the chain and can I see any entrances to this place?
There is if you're in the room with the um I'm gonna describe this and then I'm gonna give you the results of what you just did. Um so um there is you're in a like an open cavern that goes high up and low down. There are two tunnels that exit, one eastward and one westward. Um we'll say just so that way you can decide if you want to go down one of those tunnels or whatnot. Um However, when you break the chain, the one link, the cage begins to sink and hits the bottom, and it makes a low noise.
Yeah, that's like I said, I grabbed the chain before it can actually fall. And then
Oh, okay. I
move
didn't
the
hear
ball
that part.
over. I move the ball over and try and block and just jam it into one of the caves.
Okay. Um, I'm gonna need you to make an athletics check because you're underwater, moving a heavy object and trying to do something.
24.
All right, you manage to lift the chain and sort of just use the momentum of how you're dragging it behind you, just swing it into the hole if that's what you want to do.
I'm gonna make sure it's sturdy in there.
Okay, it slams into the hole and chunks of rock fall from the top of the cavern, little tiny chunks. And it looks like you wedged it in there.
Next cage. Because I'm gonna do this to both sides and then we're gonna escape. With my crazy plan of digging straight up.
Okay. Swing twice. It looks like it might take two times. So, yeah, the chain isn't moving, so 11 is fine.
No one.
Unfortunately, you do not break the chain, so you're going to have to swing a third time. And as you're swinging the third time, you hear noises coming from the secondary one, and the chain breaks, and you hear the noises approaching. So, you can attempt to move this thing.
Got
but you got
swing.
the same number. So the momentum swings, and you see a couple of marrow creatures about to get to you when the thing sticks into the wall.
Strike. And
All
now,
right.
now it's the tedious job of digging straight up.
Okay. So if this is your plan, I'm
Yep.
gonna say you have no tools, like no tools as in no shovel. Um, so digging or pickaxe, you don't have a pickaxe either. So digging is gonna take quite a while. Like what do you wish to use to even dig with?
A rapid fire.
All right, so you're using your gauntlets. Still gonna take a few hours at the very least, depending on how thick the stone is, which the stone is pretty thick. And
Let's see how much damage I do.
all right, you're breaking the stone. However, behind the stone is more stone.
Of course. And like I said, it's a madman ID. That's a net 20.
Okay. And behind that stone is more stone.
I told you it's a madman ID what I'm gonna have to do.
All right, I'll say roll a couple more and then we'll determine from there. Unfortunately, the natural one doesn't hurt the stone. I said unfortunately the natural one
Oh yeah.
doesn't hurt the stone. So
I just do the increments of 3. Makes it easier.
after this 3, we'll reassess what's currently happening.
Hmm.
So yeah, behind the first set of stone that you did before I stopped saying what was happening, behind that set of stone is more stone, and behind that third set of stone is more stone. So you have you're basically in Minecraft digging a elevator. Um,
Well, instead of a elevator, it's a heaven vader.
I guess. Um, so it works with the analogy, so I'll accept it.
Mm.
Um, so yes, um, you're you're digging this. It's about a 3 foot wide, either way circle, um, of just broken hole in the stone, and the stone is just crumbling down into the floor of the room. Um,
I told you so. Madman ID.
um, and you hear people in the cages that you didn't check, sort of just going, "Hey, what's going on?"
I just swim over and start quickly swinging at their cages.
Okay, it looks
Duh.
like there's 3 other people. So
I need
roll
to
your
roll.
roll your damages for 4 of them. It looks like.
Yeah, I'm going for all of them.
Yeah, but I mean for the 4 that hit.
Yeah, those are 2 broken cages.
Yes. So those 2 hit. And
And
there's the third one.
yep.
That's all that is needed. Apparently, in one of the cages is a bugbear. um, and in another cage is a goblin. And in the last cage, just give me a second. My nose is super itchy. Um, you see a furbolg. So you have some really weird looking allies.
So 2 furbolgs and a goblin?
No. One's a furbolg, one's a bugbear,
Oh,
and the other's
that's
a goblin.
bad. So I tell them, basically you're baking out through the roof.
They just sort of look at you. They have no supplies. They have like a leather loincloth.
I just point towards the dead marrow and says, I killed that guy. He tried to murder me. Just so you know.
They just sort of look at it. They don't seem like they're like you guys. You guys still had your equipment and everything, like some of your equipment and everything, like your armor and stuff. These
Yeah.
guys just have a leather loincloth.
Yeah, I just told them I killed that guy,
Hmm.
aka free equipment.
Yes, they just sort of look at you, like I'm saying that there's something off about this situation.
You know, you can get stuff from the guy to defend yourself with, to fight back with, and such.
The the furbolg is the only one that can speak common, and he says, "We were captured a long time ago. We've been here for a long time."
What's the last year you can remember?
The last what? Sorry,
Year you can
year?
remember.
Oh, he mentions that the last time he kept track was um a year, which I don't have a year system for this. So, for this world, I haven't invented one yet. So, um, the year that he indicates is approximately 25 years ago.
Okay, and these two have any idea?
They were on the same ship.
Okay, to make it very simple, it's 25 years later.
And they seem fine with that information.
So we're gonna break out now. As I swim back to my 3 feet hole and start being a drill again.
All
But
right.
before that, I am going to check the cages, how to see how they're doing.
The other cages, or the ones that are blocking the tunnels?
The blockades.
Okay, just as you're about to do that, I'm gonna get you to make a perception check before you even get to them. Because that was literally the next thing I was gonna get you to do.
15.
You hear, like, metal clanging noises on them, or chitinous clanging noises, whatever that sounds like. Um, and it's underwater, so it's thuddy and it's like dulled, but you can hear it. Um, and you can see that one of them has already been completely there's like a hole, a small hole. They can't get through it, but there's a hole that has been developed through one of the cages. And the other side, they're making the same noise. So, on the eastern one, which is the one that I imagined that you did first. I don't know if you pictured it that
Hmm.
way, but it's the eastern one that I said you did first. They have a small hole. On the western one, they are making noises as if they're trying to get through.
So I
So,
just watch towards everyone that's in the cave currently and tell them, grab all the well light giving plants in this cave and just stick them in one corner.
okay. They start looking for light-giving plants. Unfortunately, the ambient light isn't given off by plants.
Oh, what's then?
They start looking around the room. They're looking, but you can look too if you want to
Yeah,
see what it is.
'cause we need to turn out that light.
Okay,
9.
you don't know. It just seems ambient, as if perhaps there's some sort of substance in the room that is giving it off, but you're not sure what it is.
So let me get this straight. 3 feet wide hole. How deep does it go?
Currently, you have about 10 feet deep.
Okay, that's gonna be a very tight squeeze for everyone. Okay, just tell them to. So I can do a crazy plan. That's basically like throwing a ball into another ball's place. If that
Okay.
makes any sense.
So, describe the mechanics of what you're attempting to do.
So you have one vase that's very old and broken, and you have a new vase that's perfectly okay and fine. You see where I'm going with this?
Well, I need to know what you're using and how you're using it is the point.
So the broken cell that they're trying to dig through, and there's the ones that are still hanging here. Make those free and throw the perfectly fine cell into the broken cell, replacing it by breaking the older cell and replacing it with the newer cell.
Okay. So, first thing you're going to need to do in order to attempt to do that is you're going to need to break the first cell. The chain, like you were doing before.
Hmm.
Alright, those hit. Unfortunately, those two attacks did not break it. Alright, that broke it. Alright, you managed to drag it over, and you swing it into the other one. However, this is an action that is slightly unpredictable, so... Alright, so here's what happens. You slam it into the other one, and instead of, say, shattering the vase, as it were,
Hmm.
um, it just sort of smushes it into it, like into the cavern further, and this other one is now in the place that it was, and the smush one is now further down the corridor.
That is pretty awesome as well. So now for the other side.
All right,
But then they need to go to a tiny hole to make another hole and then make another hole.
all right, those hit.
Oh man, I've been a bit loud. So turning it down a little. Okay, that breaks the chain.
Yeah, they do have an HP of 20.
Nope, I missed the grab.
Unfortunately, this one falls to the floor before you can manage to do your swing before, like you did before.
Okay, time to
Seems
lift.
like this one is maybe slightly heavier for some reason.
Okay, 19.
You manage to pick it back up. However, you still need to do the slamming motion, which means you need to do it again.
18.
Alright, you just barely. 18 was the AC,
Oh
or
boy.
the DC. So you just barely managed to get it to swing. So it is a
Uh,
d20 to determine what
okay.
happens. Nat 20 for you, which means that, again, it slams into the other one. However, the other one remains completely intact as it gets pushed back down. So, you didn't smash it or anything. Like, you didn't crumple it, you didn't smash it. It's just one ball next to another ball now.
Mhm. Okay, but I think we need to cut off here because it's like 2, but 30 past 2 here, nearly.
Okay. Alright. So, when we do this next, you will be in an underground cavern, and um, the cursed captain will have 1 HP, and so does the Emerald Knight can, and you have however much HP you have. So, we'll pick up there, I suppose.
Oh boy.